All right, what's going on, everybody? So I thought I would talk a little bit about China. A lot of people are wondering about that. I have also given some prophetic words in the past about that. And as well, there's a lot of development from China. And specifically, recently, their zero COVID policy has really taken form because a lot of people in some of the bigger cities, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Chengchun in the Jilin province, around 50 million, maybe more, maybe less, I'm not quite sure, people are being affected by this zero COVID policy. And basically, what that means is that there's no tolerance for COVID, and you have to be quarantined, you have to be locked down. And so all these cities right now, especially Shanghai in the city center, Pudong, that province or that area, has been severely affected because a lot of people are trapped basically in these tall buildings, these mega city centers, and very difficult to get food and movement and just logistics and things like that. And it's it's been ongoing and it's very tough. And so a lot of people, they haven't really brought to light the atrocities and the different difficulties and circumstances that really is happening over there right now. And the news, they may cover it here and there. They may say, yeah, some people are locked down. About what's coming out of China, and some of these videos are getting censored, some of these, are getting deleted and things like that. But you have people that are committing suicide, people that are starving to death. You got people that are basically just locking people inside these apartments, putting tape around doors. They're separating women and children. They're taking people to detention camps. They are isolating these people, making them take daily tests, removing their freedoms. They're giving the food that the government is wanting to give them in batches. There's so many things going on that is basically going against the freedoms, and it's a crime against humanity in a sense. And with the chaos that was early on with the supermarkets getting ransacked and just a lot of different things happening, you can see that it's not developing well because they're extending it week after week, and you have these people literally trapped, unable to go anywhere for basically the past month or two. And it seems like there's not much of an end in sight, right? And so you have people that are in these closed loop systems, they can still work and things like that for some of the bigger companies. But for the majority of these people, they are literally stuck in their home, and it's prison. It's prison, and people are not really understanding the severity of these things. And if this was America, obviously you would have a revolt. You would have people that would rise up and say, man, something's not right about this. And because of the totalitarian regimes that are in China, this is not good in terms of what is civil liberties that need to be given to some people. And so again, a lot of people are going to argue both sides here and there, but what's happening and how it's being played out is not good. And you have to realize that this is the kind of thing that the devil does not want the world to know. The devil does not want people to get riled up about. And this is the kind of stuff that the devil, he loves to have as a prototype, as a model for other countries and to follow that. Because with the wrong people in power, with people that are not godly, they're going to abuse this power and they're going to have control over the people. And it's not going to bode well for freedom of religion, for godly things, and many, many, many other things, right? And so I'm not going to get into how bad communism is, how much of a deterrent it is with Christianity, organ harvesting, the crimes against humanity with children, and just many, many, many other things. There's a lot of documentaries, a lot of different people that are exposing these things. But truth be told, communism, CCP, and these things are not good. And I've given prophetic dreams about that, where the Chinese people, they are innocent, they're good. There's a lot of people that want to stand up, especially the Christians, to want to do good, but they're being oppressed at this time. And last year, around the end of the year, I gave a prophetic dream of how the Lord was showing me that there's going to be good things coming, because there's going to be a remnant. There's going to be people that are locking arms. And I saw a vision or a dream of basically these people, these Chinese people being tortured and beaten down. But then the same people that were oppressed, they were standing up and they were locked shoulder to shoulder, hand to hand. And they were walking like as if it was a straight line, and they were everything they were touching going through all of China, it was burning with fire. And so they were burning up all the shrubs and the bushes and everything that was there. And with the fire and the power of what they were doing, they were able to overcome and transform what is China, right? And so, again, I don't want to say specifically what that is, but you could see some of these things right now where there's oppression, there's a lot of torture, there's a lot of different things, a lot of crimes against humanity. But if the Chinese people would pray, rise up, and take arms and stand up for righteous things. And I'm not saying advocate violence. I'm not saying, take weapons and start killing people or something like that. But I'm saying as they stand up to what is wrong and what is oppression, then they can have what is justice, they can have freedom, they can have and do these different things, but they have to be able to rise up. And so this is something that a lot of us in the quote unquote free world, right? Other countries like the US, many other Western countries, if you don't see this play out in the sense that the elite, the global few, the people that want dictatorship, that want fascism, communism, whatever these things are to control the people, if you don't see that and you don't stand up to these things, maybe not necessarily in the police state that China is in, but rather in the information. I've talked about the information age and the information warfare that we are in, the propaganda, the indoctrination. If you don't fight in these realms, and again, every country or every area, Satan is going in there and he's using different tactics to overcome, to limit freedoms, and to do these different things to get control over you as a law-abiding, as a free citizen who wants to do the right things and to advocate, and especially as Christians, speaking for Christians, to spread the gospel. And because in China, a lot of people, they're being oppressed by the laws, the different things that have stifled the movement of Christ and the gospel message. It's not moving out the way it should be, right? And so I believe that God is going to allow things to come to pass, even in China, for which there will be more religious freedom, there will be more justice, there will be better things for that country, but they have to stand up and they have to do things that are in alignment with what God is calling them to do in due time and as the Lord leads them. And so for the rest of us in the rest of the world, we have to be aware that, yeah, communism, China, and I'm not talking about all of China. There's a lot of people that are being blackmailed. They're underneath the system, right? They are being strong-armed into doing certain things to obey and whatever it is that has gotten them to be handcuffed to everything that's going on. They have to stand up and they have to do things. And so as a Western society or as people that are watching this, you have to be aware of Satan's devices. He's suppressing, he's mitigating, and he's saying it's no big deal. China, no big deal. It's just a small lockdown and we're just doing it for your safety, for your good. But this is the kind of stuff that you will see later on, right? For which the Antichrist spirit, for people that want more power, this is where these guys want to go. And you have to be aware of how bad it is. You can't be able to turn a blind eye and say, oh, it's no big deal. It's okay. But for those that are seeing it for what it is, you're being informed about it. You're praying against it. You are declaring, right, with the hosts of heaven, sending angels there and asking the Lord to break these dominion and walls down so that the Chinese people, other people can rise up and help in this matter. But at the same time, you have to be aware where it's going for other people. And so I want to also say this. A lot of people are confused about, hey, are the Chinese people, the Russians, and, many of the patriots, are they working together? What's going on to defeat, the global one world order and different things like that? So briefly, I will say that I believe at one point the global banking, whatever agenda, they wanted to infiltrate and do things in China, right, with the CCP and just their own way to indoctrinate. But I think at some point, China has grown to be such a superpower that they don't want the oversight and the control of the global elites that have basically grown and helped them to be where they are. And so now there's a fight between the global elite and then the communism and the CCP, and there's been sort of a struggle there for power. And then at the same time, we have, of course, the patriots, the white hats, whatever you want to call it, the people that are rising up to want to battle the global one world order. And so I've said before, there's a common enemy, right? So the U.S. and the global, or rather the patriots, the good people, the white hats, whatever you want to call it, they don't see eye to eye with China now and with the CCP, but there's a bigger enemy right now that's a bigger threat to both of them. And that is that global one world order, the banking elites, all these different things, these people that are the few that are trying to indoctrinate, to push certain agendas, to push a health system, to push a financial banking system and a unified controlling fiat currency system, whatever all that is that I've been talking about. They want to fight that first before they deal with each other, right? And so again, it's a little bit tricky. I'm summarizing it very quickly here, but there's not an eye to eye that these people see, because you have to see communism, the CCP, for what it is, and it's not good. But there is, in some sense, this three power struggle that's happening now, and you have to see that everybody is out for themselves, but also there is a greater threat they have to deal with first. And so, again, guys, there's big movements everywhere, right? Satan is working to try to divide, to conquer, and to influence and gain control now. And you have to be aware of that. You have to be able to inform yourself if possible, so that you know what would be the direction that they want to do certain things in our country, in America, in other countries, things like that. But for you as a citizen, as a Christian, to be able to stand there and not be aware of these atrocities, and then not to be able to fight it, right? Then sooner or later, you're going to have the overtaking of your country, of your freedoms, of your rights, and all these different things. And it's going to be, in some sense, too late. And it's going to take a lot more to reverse it, to fight against it. And so I just wanted to encourage some of you guys not only to pray for China and what's going on. I believe there's going to be good things that will come out of it. But right now, it's a tough time, because a lot of people have to see it for what it is: the totalitarian regime, the globalist agenda, the desire for control, for fascism, communism, and all these different things. It's tough. It's killing a lot of people. It's dividing people, and many things are coming out of it that's not good. But ultimately, as I've said before, even in the prophetic dream and just prophetically speaking, that you have to rise up from the suffering. And it's a wake-up call for many people. And so again, guys, keep praying. It's a tough time now. These are just some of the thoughts and concerns I have. But as a community, as a body of Christ, we have to be aware of the implications. The other thing I want to say is that there's downstream implications to what's going on. I've talked about supply shortages. I've talked about what's happening with the scarcity and all that. So this is all connected, right? And so you have to be careful with what's going on in the near term. So in maybe a few months, right? All the impact that's happening with the shutdowns, the lockdowns in China. If you see maps basically of the port and outside Shanghai and all of these different ports, there's so many container ships waiting to dock, to unload, to load back up, and to move cargo. But because there's a standstill right now, even the biggest companies in the world, they're not able to get their electronics, their food, and all these different things out. And it right now, it seems like it's no big deal. Prices are increasing and all these different things. But in a short amount of time, you will see the downstream implications. So I've given a prophetic warning of the scarcity, the food shortage, and you can even say all the other supply chain shortages in electronics, in household goods, in products, many, many things. These things are going to be a downstream implication for you, your family, for the country, for many other people. And so you have to be preparing right now. I'm not here to instill fear. I'm not here to tell you that, God won't take care of you, but you also have to prepare. You see that happen time and time again in the Bible. It's not a warning in terms of, running around with anxiety and fear, but to be able to appropriately prepare as needed. Joseph did that with the 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine. The disciples did that when Agabus stood up and said that there's going to be a famine. All the disciples, they went each to their own with their skills and as needed as they were called, and they did things, right? So you have to prepare, right, wisely. But at the same time, you cannot be in fear. You can't just be sitting there doing nothing and saying, oh, you know what? No big deal. The signs are happening right now. You can see the dark, stormy clouds in a short day. For some, it's right over us. For others, it's kind of right there coming to us. So to sit there and to do nothing about it, right, is also in some sense foolishness. So look around, look around you. Look at the macroeconomic indicators. Look at the supply chain indicators. So again, this is a loving, encouraging, prophetic warning, as I've given in a video recently, but also just to reiterate the implications of what's going on with China. And so again, guys, a lot of things happening. God bless you guys. Take heart, seek Him, right? Go to the Lord with Him and all these different things. But I wanted to at least give you guys my thoughts on China and what's going on and the impact to that, not only in that country, but also to the world, right? So God bless you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.